welcome to the unknown. That is your life. How are you? How's everybody doing? It's so incredibly important for us right now to pay attention, very close attention to our intuition and our guidance, and to maneuver through our reality of the unknown by using our intuition. For many years, for most of us, there have been things in our reality that were the unknown. But now, if you're living the right way, most of your reality is completely and totally the unknown. And the unknown can feel scary, like the deep dive into the abyss of not knowing where you're going or what side you may be coming out of and when you may be coming out of it. There is a path that resides within you, a map that resides within you to what your destiny is. So if you're not listening to that intuition and not using that soul map, you're not going to know what that destination is. We are currently in the point of ascension when almost the majority of what we go through on a daily basis is unknown. So in using your intuition, you know there's a path, an incredible path, an incredible journey in front of you, but you only know that it's there. You only feel that it's there. You can't see the path. You can't see exactly where your choices or your decisions are going to take you. It's being totally and completely in the unknown. It's being totally and completely on a path that is hidden from you in every facet of your imagination, other than the fact that your intuition is leading you and guiding you and telling you or advising you or showing the way to what is the life that you want to bring into fruition. Since the path is unseen and unknown, it's the huge element of the unknown in our lives at this time. The path can only be felt. The path cannot be seen. The higher multi-dimensional energy that resides just above us, just outside of us, or even within us is something that we can only hear when we silence the monkey mind and listen to where our intuition is showing us. And I understand nobody understands better than we do what it's like to only feel the path, but not be able to see it. It's leading you to people, it's leading you to places, it's leading you to jobs, missions, relationships, all kinds of things that you cannot foresee. So it's important when you feel a connection to a place or to a mission or to a person that you follow your intuition, that you follow your bliss and your understanding that maybe there's only a connection with that place, or maybe there's a mere connection with that person, with that job, with that thing, with that relationship. But we have to learn how to trust our intuition and maneuver using it as our higher guidance system, as our internal compass to where our life is going to take us. Because the ascension path isn't about learning or studying or watching videos or reading books. That's part of the ascension path. But when you get to a certain point on the ascension path, it's not about those things. It's not about learning anything. The ascension should be called the great unlearning instead of the great awakening, because you are awakening to the fact that everything you need to create your truly magical life resides within you. Now, I know it can be hard to trust your intuition, especially when it comes to your personal reality, it's easier to believe or feel or resonate with something that someone else has said. And I know we're not going to stop connecting with people or listening to other people, and that's not even a suggestion that I'm making. But my experience personally, and the experience I've had with friends, and the experience I've had with doing tarot and intuitive readings for people is, on a very personal level, it's hard to say, I'm seeing this job or this relationship or this thing that just keeps presenting itself to me energetically. Okay, because I know for me it was really super hard to trust that something could be coming to me multidimensionally or energetically, that I had to keep the momentum built for that beautiful magic that I know that I am magnetizing into my life by being in the energy of divinity. But divinity is just as much or more about trusting what resides within me than it is about trusting anything that was divine that went before me, or anything that was divine that was left for us by our ancestors, by interdimensional beings or interstellar beings or anyone else. So yes, trust your intuition. It's like we're sometimes crawling, sometimes running, sometimes skipping along the path that's completely in the dark. And our intuition is guiding us to the perfect situation, perfect relationships, the perfect jobs, the perfect place to live. There are so many important decisions that we need to make. There are so many important decisions that we are being asked to make right now. And the most important choice is, what does it feel like to be naked? What does it feel like to be vulnerable and open and trusting when other people or maybe the world hasn't shown that to me or shown that to you or to us in general in the past? The decision that's so incredibly important right now is staying open, making the choice to stay open, to stay stay open, stay in your intuition, stay naked, stay vulnerable, stay expressive in your authenticity, because it can be really tempting to hide who you are so that people may like you, or so that you may get that job, or so that you may get that date. It's easy to want to step out of who you are for a second and think about, what does that company want me to say? What does that company want my resume to look like? Should I bend towards what their expectation of me is? Should I bend towards what their desire is for a perfect candidate? Or should I go in there and be my authentic self? Because while bending myself to that company's desires or expectations, or what I know they want my resume to look like or sound like, I have a much better chance of getting the job, right? However, the thing is about having the better chance of getting that job, unless I'm being my authentic, open, naked, vulnerable self in that job interview, I may be setting myself up with the perfect interview, with the perfect coaching, with the perfect verbiage to say to that CEO who's interviewing me. I may know exactly what to do, how to act, what to say, and how my resume should be. But if that is outside of authenticity for me, if that resume is not truthful, or I am saying something to get this job, then that's not a job I want. Because what you should know about being completely authentic is, if you go into a job interview and you're completely in your authenticity, they're going to see exactly who you want. And that's either a direction you should go in, a thing that you should want to do, or it's not. But if you're bending your authenticity or breaking your authenticity, or putting a damper on your light so that you can be something that gets you the job, then you may be getting a job that's not right for you. So while you go into the interview being completely open, naked, vulnerable, and authentic, right? They see who you really are. So maybe you don't have the education that they seek. Maybe on paper you are not what they seek. But when they see your authenticity, your vulnerability, your realness, that is likely to get you hired in itself. The other thing is if I'm bending or hiding my light or dimming my personality or my authenticity, I may end up getting a job that is not right for me. I should always be authentic. We should all always be authentic, because in our authenticity, we magnetize exactly what is the highest good or the highest outcome and the highest timeline for us. I never understood in relationships, on dates especially, initially, that people would talk in a different way or act in a different way or dress in a different way or something. And then I noticed that even people a couple months into the relationship were still being authentic until they've got to the point where they feel like, okay, this person likes me, now I can be myself. And just as much as that will hurt your chances in a powerful dynamic of having the dream job, that will just as much or more so hinder where you're wanting to go in your real relationships. You know, I had a chance, I think it was about a year or two ago. I met somebody through a mutual friend, and we had talked several times because we ended up being at this mutual friend's house at the same time. And on a surface level, we had a lot in common, and it was easy conversation, and we had a lot of the same interest and things like that. In one of the very first conversations we had, when this person reached out and phoned me, we started talking about something, and I don't remember what it was because it's not important, but something had come out my mouth, and he said, "Are you psychic?" And I said, "Yes." I could have said no. We had never been on the date yet, right? So I could have said no. And according to the standards, the world's standards of I can't talk, in being inauthentic, I could have said, no, I'm not psychic. It was a lucky guess or whatever. But I said, yes, I'm psychic. And there was a long pause. And then he said, well, that's not really fair to the person you're dating now, is it? No. But would I rather know that now? Would I rather be in my authenticity at that moment and say, we haven't even been on this date yet? Am I going to sit on this date and try to hide any part of me that is my authenticity? It's so important not to do that. And I know in this day and age when we can fix our face on social media and fix our house on social media and drive a different car and pretty much use our imagination to be anything we want, if we're looking to connect the unlimited potential of the quantum field in the direction that is authentically right for us, and I'm not saying that we're mean or we're rude or we're dismissive of people or even situations. I'm just saying it's always best to be absolutely authentic within oneself, whether it's a job interview or a first date or whatever. Because being your authentic self, it might not be right for that person that's sitting across the table having dinner from you. But do you want it to be right for that person for a week or two? So that you can then later say, well, I can't be inauthentic forever. At some point, I'm going to have to be who I really am, or you're going to have to see who I really am without social media filters, all of that stuff, right? So we're so much more incredibly powerful in our authenticity and magnetizing what it is that we are truly meant for in our lives. So it's important to make that choice, to be naked, to be vulnerable, to be totally 100% authentic and who you are as an energy, because that authenticity will magnify the things that are meant for you and repel the things that are not. I didn't have to say anything. I had spoken to this man 3 or 4 times We had set up our first date. He found out that I was psychic and he got really weird. That's fine. You're not going to be around me for more than an hour or two without realizing my power to connect to the human heart or even the human mind and maybe what you're thinking. And I don't ever do this intentionally, people. It's just who I am. I would rather be authentic and be with the person that's okay with the gifts that are displayed in my authenticity, in my nakedness, and in my vulnerability. And so I'm making those important choices. We all right now have to make those very important choices, knowing that this path, this ascension path, has no roadmap outside of what is in your DNA. There is no compass to the external other than how you feel about people, places, and things in your heart. That's the only compass, because we're walking up this mountain of ascension. We're doing it together. And the people that I most genuinely connect with and share my heart space with are the people that they're just open, they're just honest, and they're just expressive, and nothing else matters. And maneuvering through and using your personal internal compass to magnetize and direct your life into the highest version of yourself requires that you, in every moment of your existence, be who you authentically are as a soul. It's so important. Thank you for being here. I love you, and I love your authenticity. I love your nakedness. I love your vulnerability. The only thing we have to decide right now is what means the world to me. What is it that I can't live without? What is so important to me that keeps me on this path? What is so important to me that keeps me trusting and knowing and listening to my intuition? On a last and final note, I forgot to mention this in the last video, but for the last, I want to say it's been since about 11/11. I'm curious if anyone else is going through this heart chakra activation. I don't know anything else that it could be, but my heart is gyrating, it's vibrating, and then it vibrates out the whole left side of my body. And it's been going on since about, I think, 11/11. I was curious. Put it in the comment button, in the comments, and let me know if anyone else is experiencing this major heart chakra opening. It seems like maybe every 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. It does a pulsing and a vibration in the heart center, and then it kind of echoes or radiates out amongst the left side of my body. Incredible journey we're on. Trust it, believe in it, have faith in it, and have trust in it, and have trust in yourself, because we are the anchor. We're holding down the line. We are the front line, and we're holding down the front line of this ascension. We're holding down the front line of this higher timeline, and we're holding down the entire front line energetically for all of humanity. And that's why it's so important for you to be in your authenticity, to stay in love, to stay balanced and stay grounded, stay true to yourself, stay true to your intuition, no matter how insane it seems when you hear these things from other people or see things or see other people popping up in your life that are not happening in the 3D. There's a very big bridge between what's happening, what we're feeling, what our intuition is showing us multidimensionally, and what is not here yet. If I dismiss my intuition because multidimensionally I can feel it, but it's not in my 3D, and I'm dismissing my intuition, I am procrastinating what means the world to me. Don't procrastinate what means the world to you. And always speak your peace, your truth, and your love. Thank you. Bye.